Hello, this is Pastor Matthew Woods from Grace Lutheran Church in New Albany, Indiana, and this is the weekly devotion for December 11th, 2022. Today's title, Stepping Off the Rumor Mill. This morning, I hope to discourage you, to discourage something rather than encourage something. I would like to discourage you from participating in the spread of any rumors. As many of you know, Tricia and I last week went to a funeral. Our niece's beautiful 16-month-old baby girl died in her sleep. It was horrible and it was heartbreaking. Now some wonderful things, some gestures of kindness and love have been expressed in response. That's very good. For example, a local restaurant has decided that they're going to collect tips and donations one day a month. And they would give that to a family in need. And their first family was our niece and her family, and we're grateful for that. A fund has been started in honor of our niece's little baby girl to help families who lose little ones and can't pay for the funeral. And this fund would help pay for that funeral. It's still in the process of being established, but what a great idea. And our folks from here at home, many of you have expressed your condolences to us, and we've received cards, and we're very grateful for that. That kind of love and support is very, very important in times like this. But within the community over there where we had the funeral, a terrible unfounded rumor also started. We prefer to believe it started unintentionally somewhere and in some way in the midst of the chaotic mourning when the baby died. Family members called into work and let their work know that they wouldn't be in and why, and somehow maybe in the midst of that a rumor got started, something was misunderstood. It doesn't really matter. It was unnecessary and completely untrue, but it spread over many counties and in many of those little rural towns. Family members were approached by nosy neighbors, and neighbors were asking one another if such and so was true, and what have you heard? It was not helpful, to say the least, at all. But all of this has reminded me of how important saying the right things, the truth of things is. When I teach the eighth commandment, I often use a parable that's not in the Bible to teach this lesson. It says a young man during the Middle Ages went to a monk saying, I have sinned by telling slanderous statements about someone. What should I do? What should I do now? The monk replied, go put a feather on every doorstep in town. And so the young man did. Then he returned to the monk wondering if there was something else that he should do. The monk said, go back and pick up all the feathers. The young man replied, that's impossible. By now, the wind will have blown them all over town. The monk finally replied, so has your slanderous words become impossible to retrieve. And how true that is, right? Rumor gets around the world before the truth gets its boots on, right? That's what we hear. So here it is. If you hear something that is unsubstantiated, then maybe it just shouldn't be said. It is, in effect, a lie, and something evil is within it. We don't want such things souring our hearts or our minds about anyone, even if those things are said about people we don't actually like. The scriptures have plenty of places that teach this. And it is good that we pay attention here because there is something inside all of us that likes a good rumor. So consider a few scriptures as I share them. 1 Timothy 5:19. Do not entertain an accusation against an elder unless it is brought by 2 or 3 witnesses. In other words, better have some evidence. Proverbs 18:7-8 says, the mouth of fools are their ruin. They trap themselves with their lips. Rumors are dainty morsels that sink deep into one's heart. Proverbs 26:20-21 says, without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, arguments stop. Charcoal keeps the coals glowing. Wood keeps the fires burning, and troublemakers keep arguments alive. Maybe at the root of these things is a troublemaker someone who just likes the gossip. But put the fire out, right? Exodus 23:1 says, "You must not pass along false rumors. You must not cooperate with evil people by lying on the witness stand." There we see it. It's a rumor, falseness is associated with a lie. And then Leviticus 19:16. You must not go around spreading false stories against other people. Don't do anything that would put your neighbor's life in danger. I am the Lord. You see, the Bible is not kind to those who spread rumors or gossip. At the heart of false rumors is something evil and destructive. There is something narcissistic even about spreading a rumor. People who spread rumors like the attention that it gives them. So here's what I suggest in response. Ask 4 questions to yourself before you talk about your neighbor. Okay? First thing, is it kind? Is what is being said tearing down, or is it building up? I mean, Lord knows, we've certainly got enough things tearing us down. We don't need to participate. As Christians, we aren't meant to do that. We are meant instead to build up and encourage others. It is an expression of love, not to spread a rumor. Secondly, is it necessary? Does this even need to be said? Again, what good could possibly come from it? Third, is it true? Is it consistent with the character, for example, of the person that is being slandered? Is there any evidence that verifies what is being said? Oftentimes, rumors start with a partial truth, but somewhere complete fiction is added for whatever reason, whatever motives. Third, is it true? Is it consistent with the character, for example, of the person that is being slandered? Is there any evidence that verifies what is being said? You see, often rumors start with a partial truth, but somewhere a complete fiction is added. You know, it always blows my mind that the Pharisees and the religious leaders would see the results of Jesus' miracles, but then somehow conclude that it was of the devil. And it especially blows my mind that after the resurrection, the religious leaders didn't investigate the matter, but immediately decided to invent a story out of whole cloth because of their anger and their hatred to Jesus. Truth always matters, right? If something is true, we also need to ask, if something is true, do we actually need to share it? Right? Is it something we have to give up? Go back and ask if it is kind, and is it necessary to be shared? Knowing some things does not require us to share it. I mean, just ask a counselor or a pastor. There's not, you just don't share everything that's said to you. And a good friend knows how to be a confidant, right? So is it true? Finally, and perhaps most importantly, would God approve of what you're saying or sharing? Would the Lord approve of your intentions of sharing unsubstantiated information or your purpose in sharing it? Even if it is true, would God approve of your sharing it and exposing a truth about someone? Is there anything godly about the rumor or the gossip or the information that you have? Can anything godly happen because you've shared it? So would God approve? So there you have it. Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it true? And would God approve? My guess is that if someone were saying anything about you or me, we would want them to pause and consider those 4 questions first, don't you think? We would probably even hope that we would be respected enough to be asked directly if something said about us were true or not. And in truth, if people are saying anything about us, we are a lot more interested, it seems, when it's about us, we're a lot more interested in what is being, and the things that are being said as being truthful and correct. Wouldn't you agree with that? I mean, you want it to be right if there's information to be had. And do you want everything about you to be exposed out there? You see, you got to be careful with this stuff. So again, I hope to discourage you from gossip or rumor. Don't let it get a foothold in your brain or in your heart. Let the rumors die with you. Refuse to hear them and consider praying for those most affected by half-truths, lies, and harmful words. Even if someone does confide in you as a friend, it's best to honor that friendship by keeping it between the two of you. May the Lord bless you in this. It's very important that we recognize how important your words are. May those words be words of blessing rather than words of destruction. So may the Lord bless you in this. I'm Pastor Woods. Thank you for being with me today. I hope that this blesses you, and I thank you again for your prayers for our family. And I pray that this is a good week for you, and I hope to see you next week. Lord's blessings. Bye-bye.